YouTube, what's good? It's your boy Agnell encouraging you to try something new. So we got another reaction video today. It looks like BM and Arlette talked to the girls that were on the show, and I was on the show. And shout out to Kofi for sending me a text message saying that the girls talked to BM and Arlette. Same way we talked to BM and Arlette. This is pretty much the same thing that we did. All the fellas on the show, we did the same thing. So let's get into it. I haven't seen this yet, so this is just like me raw reacting to this. So let's see.
All right, welcome back to BM Talks to Them. Today we have some of the girls from episode 23, the episode that everyone's talking about. Welcome.
All right. First of all, I've been getting a lot of criticism for saying that I don't like makeup. Apparently, like, people took it and blew it out of proportion, and there's people that are telling me like, oh, you know, women are gonna wear makeup when they're on dates, this and that. Understandable. But you guys have to understand where I'm coming from with this, right? This might be a crazy take, but understand that these girls right here on this panel, right? First of all, shout out to all the ladies. They do not look the same as they did on the show. I'm going to keep it 100%. I'm not saying they're ugly. I'm not saying they're uglier. I don't know if they have any makeup on, a little bit of makeup on. My judgment with what's on their face is pretty bad. I'm going to say that. I don't know if they have makeup on or not, but they look way different. Let's keep going.
Welcome, ladies. How you feeling?
Okay.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi.
Good. Great. Thanks for having us.
Of course. It's nice to have you guys back. Obviously, as you guys saw from your episode, we had the men on. They got a chance to speak, say their piece, all that good stuff. So we're like, you know, it's only
Shout out to the fellas. Shout out to all of them. That's the gang right there. Shout out to them.
fair that we bring the ladies as well so they can say their piece, because a lot of the comments, you guys were pretty much under fire underneath that episode. So we were like, you know what, let's give them a chance so they can come back on. Maybe there's some things they want to address, whatever it may be, get some stuff off your chest. This is a great moment for you guys to do so. So we just wanted to bring you on the platform and just hear from you guys. I hope you guys are ready.
I want to hear from them too. Let's keep going.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing I want to ask you is, how did you find the experience so far being on the show, and how did you find it when you saw the actual episode come out? How did you feel? Kind of explain your experience. Let's start with
Renee.
I had a fun experience. I was surprised to see a lot of negative comments. I thought that we were a very nice episode. No one was mean, or we didn't have like a viral weird moment. I thought that we all made a group chat after. Like, I thought we were cool, but turns out we weren't.
Clearly.
So you said you thought you didn't have a viral.
No, like she means like they didn't have like some crazy
viral
moment.
But
I mean, as a whole though, the whole episode is a viral. It's like a viral moment. The whole episode.
The episode, it was a good episode. I'm saying, like, we didn't have anyone that was disrespectful or had like some weird commentary or something. All the girls were respectful. The men, we did have a nice lineup, but we just didn't match up. They just weren't our types.
Okay. Okay, so it looks like we lost Christina, but we'll continue. Once she comes back on, we'll go ahead and pick up with her. So we were hearing from Kamina, aka Haitian Doll.
So yes, the experience was really fun. I met a lot of amazing girls during the experience. I thought I met amazing friends as the guy side. I guess I was wrong with that. But other than that, watching the episode back, honestly, the negative comments don't really phase me. I mean, I was very respectful. I gave everybody a compliment before I turned them down.
She has like 100,000 followers on Instagram. Shout out to Zoe Lady. I'm sure that like she's used to negative comments all the time because she is in the limelight on Instagram, I'm guessing. So if you have that big of a following, of course there's going to be people that are critiquing you, saying crazy shit about you. So I could understand where she's coming from. Let's keep going.
I'm down, so I wasn't really too mean. So yeah, I liked watching it back, and it showed my bubbly side.
But again, like maybe she did look the same on the show, cause she had bangs on. She had bangs covering her eyebrows and stuff. But again, I did see cause I follow her on Instagram. I'd seen a story post of her at the gym with no makeup on. And she looks different. She looks different. Again, I'm not saying she's ugly. She was actually very attractive with no makeup on. And yeah, she looked good. She looked good. But my point is, the makeup changes your appearance. Like I'm trying to get to know the real you, and you got a whole mask on. You know what I mean? Like a physical mask on. So I'll say this, and I'll speak for a lot of men out there. Ladies, we don't really like the makeup that much. We don't really like it. We appreciate it. I'll appreciate you trying to enhance your looks to make you appear better, especially if you're going on a date with me. Like, you're putting makeup on, you want to look your best for this date. I appreciate that. But we don't like it. Just keep going.
Side, I was laughing a lot, so yeah.
Okay, what about Carrington?
My experience was great. Arizona was beautiful. I love the travel. So just the overall going out there was amazing. I was really nervous beforehand, but the girls definitely made it better for me. We talked, everybody reassured me. Anxiety was through the roof, but it ended up being so easy, so smooth. And like Renee was saying, afterwards we were talking and we're like, hey, we kind of had a boring episode. Like, nobody even said anything crazy. No one, like,
boring episode. I mean, I think the dudes got the. Never mind. Let me keep going. Hold on. Let me keep hearing her.
Everybody, guys and girls in the group chat, all were kind of in agreement that we didn't have a lot of viral moments. We were wrong, clearly, but during the experience, everybody was like, oh, like, everybody was so nice. Like, everybody tried really hard to be respectful, give compliments. It was definitely a learning experience as far as production and how things like this go on. A lot of standing. But it was great. Like, being out there, it was amazing. And like Kamina said, we all kind of had a bond. We went and did things afterwards as groups, multiple times. We had that group chat. We're really kind of bonding in a way, getting to know each other outside, off of camera. Of course, now we all have different perspectives of everybody, and the experience is a little tweaked. But initially, it was like, oh, like, we might have not found our person, but we definitely found friends out of it initially. But, you know,
I think she was kind of she gave me a upset look when we were in the audience, and someone said something about makeup and lashes. I think this was after I got on the show. Someone said something about makeup, and she turned around and looked at me and gave me like a dirty look, and I was like, what? Like, this, I don't know the full context because I can't remember. I don't know the full context of the conversation, but she gave me like a weird, dirty look. So she was my least favorite. I don't know. Let's keep going.
You know, you live and learn. And then as far as the comments and things like that, I'm a very inside person. I am not, like, I took a detox from the internet and social media before this trip, and getting it back and this being the first thing, it was a lot for me. So I can't sit here and act like, oh, I have the toughest skin. I just stopped reading the comments because I know everybody's pure intent. And after getting to know
because you were getting cooked, that's why you stopped reading the comments. Let's keep it a stack.
To know these women, I just can't. Like, I couldn't sit there and watch them degrade these women as far as their looks, their personalities, because those conversations afterwards show that those 20 seconds that went viral aren't these girls. So it did. It kind of hurt my feelings. It kind of put me in a weird space. Like, oh, okay, for one, I don't date. I don't communicate with people just outside of work and things like that. So this right here was extremely overwhelming, having all those eyes on me for people that I don't even know. But overall, it was nice.
There's a weird undertone behind how she's speaking. I sense saltiness. I sense disappointment, I guess. I don't know what the right word is. But there is definitely an undertone of some kind of defeat, or I think she's still upset about all the negative comments. Let's keep going.
Okay. All right. Let's go on. Let's move on to Ish.
So the experience overall, I think, had a lot of positives to it. Like Carrington said, going through the process, understanding how things like that work, meeting new people. The group of ladies that I met was amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. I have zero bad things to say about any of the women. That was an amazing experience for me. Afterwards, getting to know the guys, you get to know people at a certain level, and you see things and you're like, these guys aren't so bad. Not saying that they were bad when we seen them, but you kind of see people for what they are outside of them being on camera. So
very true.
Felt like I got a really good look at who these people were. And then after the video dropped, seeing all the negativity and everything that people were shooting at the girls, I feel like I got a lot of heat. I'm not saying that everybody got positive stuff, then I got like negativity. But when I tell you, I was waking up in a bad mood because so many people were saying all these negative things about me that weren't true. Like, there were rumors like all over, people making like individual videos of me, and I've never been under scrutiny like that, especially in such a negative way. And me being the person that I am at the core, it really did hurt my feelings, because I'm like, these people literally don't know who I am. They just see these images of something put in front of all these people, and we're expected to do this thing. Like, the show is about dating and essentially either accepting or rejecting a person. And I feel like when we're being honest with ourselves and we're rejecting people in front of all of these eyes, is seen as such a negative, as if we are meant to be with every person.
I don't know. So here's the thing with me. I think that there were comments on me that said, "Yo, you should cut your hair," this and that. Like, they said a lot of things about my hair in the comments as well. And this is the girl that said I had the taper in the front, party in the back, with my hair. Which, okay, whatever. That's kind of how I took it on the show. I'm like, okay. But all that to say is that, like, I think the comments were very unbiased. Of course, yes, they're at home watching and they don't know any of us, but there's something about the majority of people agreeing with or being on the side. You know what I mean? Like, they're choosing a side. And clearly the audience chose the side of the men. And there was a lot of comments that said, "Yo, the men didn't deserve this and that." Like, there's a reason why people are saying this. So it's not like they're just pulling shit out of their ass and just saying mean, rude shit. Like, there's substance to what the comments had to say. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Let's keep going.
That crosses our path, and that's just not realistic. So I think it was a good experience overall, being able to meet these people and have this connection, but I don't necessarily like how much negativity the women receive, because
there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Because again, like Carrington said, knowing these women, they are such good women inside and out, and I just can't see what people are seeing online, and I've gotten to know them at the level that I have. So a lot of positives, but I definitely don't care for the negatives that came with it. I feel like, if people were a lot more open-minded and understanding, they would feel, that we're human too. You can't learn or know somebody off of 20 seconds, especially with all these negative headlines that each episode or each video of, that has been taken out of context has been given. Like, it's just so many he say, she say things that are like, kind of like the telephone. You hear one thing on the first episode, and the next clip, somebody says something different and takes it out of context, and somebody takes that clip, and now that clip is taken out of context. It's just so much, bending and twisting and not even knowing the full truth. So I definitely want people to understand, like, all y'all seen on the internet, not true.
So Ish, I actually want to ask you a question, right?
Not true is that is very debatable. That's very debatable. Let's keep going.
Because you said that you don't do bold, guys, but Mo was basically, bold. So obviously people are saying, you say you have to be honest, right? But was you being honest at that time when you say you don't do bold, but you was gonna go for Mo?
I think I was being honest, but with Maul, you may not have seen it on camera, but like, he literally had hair. Like, it was not like completely bald, like he was like missing all his hair. It was legitimately hair growing out of his head. He just had a really low cut. And even if you go on his Instagram page, which I seen afterwards, you can see like videos and pictures of him with actual hair. Like, he's not like completely bald. So that's what I was seeing. And
sounds like she's moving the goalpost. Maul, I think Maul was the dude that was after me. Yeah, he definitely was after me. And there was a lot of unpopped balloons when he got on there. And so again, I think she's moving the goalpost on this. That's what I think. Let's keep going.
And I'm not saying that I'm against bald men, because that's another thing that was taken out of context. I think black men is...
But that's what you said. You don't do bald, like, and this is the same thing. This is the same thing with me. Me saying that I don't like makeup, like, that's what I said, and I'm gonna stand behind it. And now it seems like she's not standing behind what she says. Weird.
Black men especially are really, handsome, especially being bald. I think for me it's just an age thing, and the difference between Rob and Maul was that Rob, like he said, he couldn't help it. Like, he didn't have the capability to grow hair, in certain parts of his head, so he was bald. But Maul was a little different. Maybe he was bald or low cut by choice. And I think that's what the difference was for me.
But do you get what people see, though? Because obviously a lot of people see that he is basically, nearly bald, right?
Shout out to BM. Like, he's asking the right questions. He's asking the right questions. Shout out to BM. Let's keep going.
Mm-hmm. So when you're coming on this type of show and you're presenting yourself the way that you present yourself, people will judge you by what they see.
Correct.
Right? So did you think that the way that you acted, like, and some of the stuff that you said, also, you said the thing about the long distance thing, right? You said that was the issue. Obviously, coming onto the show, I mean, I would imagine you're coming on, if you're flying into Phoenix, I would think that you're okay with long distance.
Other people.
Because
thank
the
you.
majority of people that come on the show, they're flying from different parts of the States.
Correct.
So,
right.
What are the chances that you're going to find somebody that lives in the same state as you?
I mean, I think the chances of that are very high, because you're crossing these people's paths every day. The issue with the long distance, especially the situation with Cliff, is that he's living in Las Vegas, right? I'm living in, the Detroit area of Michigan. That's right here and right here. Long distance is different in Michigan and Ohio than it is from Michigan and Las Vegas. So
the proximity was not there for me. If I can drive 4 hours to see a person, if we're doing it every other week, 2 times a month or however it is, the proximity is there and there's some closeness. And I think in any long distance relationship, the parties have to be eventually willing to move, but too far of a distance just would not have worked for me. And I think that's very reasonable. And
I could understand that. I was in a kind of long distance relationship. She lived 2 hours away from me. So 2 hours is 2 hours. I could make that shit just like that. 4 hours? I don't know, yo. Especially for don't get me wrong. Like, if the vibe is there, the vibe is there. And then eventually y'all would be able to move closer to each other. But how far is Vegas from Detroit? Let me ask Siri real quick. Hold up. Hey, Siri. How far is Detroit, Michigan from Las Vegas? Yeah, that's pretty deep. 28 hours, 7 minutes. That's a driving by car. 2,000 miles by car. Yeah, that's pretty far. That's pretty far. So I'll give Ishi that. I'll give her that.
And there
I understand that, but for the show, right? The show is a long distance type of show. Like, if you're coming on the show, you kind of have to be
open
okay
to
with long distance.
Correct.
Because everybody else is flying in.
Correct.
Yeah, I don't think she's saying she's not okay with it. She's okay with it to a certain extent.
Right.
To a certain extent. But this is the thing, you have to hear me out from my standpoint. You have two people from Philadelphia, right? You had Maul and you had, I don't know her name, but they were from the same state. So that's like a luck thing. I think when you go on these shows, you have to understand that it's some sort of luck or some sort of, destiny. If you're not meant to meet somebody on these shows, you're just not meant to meet that person. But they happen to come on the show and be from the same state. So maybe they were meant to meet. From my standpoint, I know what I was willing to do and what I was willing or what I wasn't willing to do. And I knew like the proximity that I was kind of willing to work with. And that's just what it was. Like, there's 8 people, there was 10 of us. It's not always going to be a perfect match or everything's going to be, cookie cutter or perfectly fit in shape. And I think that's what the experience is about. But to say that I wasn't accepting of any type of distance, I think is kind of just shooting out into the dark, because 2 people were from Philly. There could have been somebody from Ohio. There could have been somebody that lived in Indiana, but it just wasn't like that on the episode. And I don't think that's necessarily on me personally. If we're talking,
it makes sense, but I think for her there might be like exceptions to the rule. You know what I mean? Like, everything that she's saying is valid. It's fucking far from Vegas to Detroit, but I think for the absolute right dude, the dude that makes her eyes glow and like, you know what I mean? Like, that right person for her, I think she'll make that exception.
If we're talking about getting realistic matches, like, realistically, you guys pick the people. So maybe try doing things on a regional level to where people are more comfortable, because I know a lot of ladies, not just myself, that wouldn't necessarily do long distance if it was just too long, like too much of a distance in between the people. So I understand what you're saying there, but essentially this show, we do put in the description that it is for the whole of the USA. So you have to know that if you're coming on the show, know that you should be open-minded to dating people from all over the states. And I understand you not wanting to be, some people come on and they're from the same state, but we are picking people who we think is compatible with other people. We're not looking at distance. Me and my wife, I lived in London for 20 years and then I came to the US. So if you're talking long distance,
that's real long. Oh God.
Touche. That's the point. Like I just said, there's exceptions to the rule. Like, if it's for the right person, look at how Arlette is looking at BM. Look at that. Look at that black love right there. If the vibe is right and the person is right, you're gonna make that exception. That's what I wholeheartedly believe. Straight up.
I definitely understand what you're saying there, and let's move on to Kia.
Yeah, I'll say I don't want to speak.
And like I said before, on the reaction video that I made for my segment, Kia here had the best aura throughout the rest of the ladies, in my opinion. Not, again, I'm not trying to shit on nobody else, but I think she had the best aura. I loved her voice and how she expressed herself. Like it was very heartwarming to listen to her speak. I don't know what else, like I don't know how else I could put this in words, but like she had the best aura out of everybody.
I don't want to speak for everyone, but at least for me, I was not ready for these quote unquote 15 seconds of fame. When I just chose to be on the show, it never crossed my mind, oh my gosh, I'm going to get hundreds of notifications a day, or, you know, whatever feedback I received. My notifications have been on mute for years, so that wasn't a huge problem. I did look at some of the comments the first day the episode dropped, and I said,
she's got a great smile.
That's interesting.
Yeah, she's got great teeth. I'm a hygienist, so I look at teeth. She's got amazing teeth.
Interesting. But I'm the type of person who has no issue with distinguishing the internet from real life. So that's not something that, you know, I will say that there were way more positive comments that I received than negative. Of course, we all...
Because, again, like I said, her aura, she just exuded good vibes, good energy. Like the way she spoke, the way she carried herself, the way she complimented the other dudes, the way she complimented me. And this is something that this girl Sky, that is also a YouTuber, shout out to Sky, she pointed out that one of the other girls that's not on the show, that's not on this panel right here, she pointed out that one of the girls, again, that's not on this panel, she noticed that she said that, you know, she was destroying my hair. Oh, I don't like dudes with long hair, yada, yada, yada. I don't like how you dress. But I like your chains, though. And that's something that what the other girl said. Her name was Tara. And that's that, like, she said, Sky said that, like, the way that they tried to balance out all the insults with a compliment at the end was not cool. And that's something that kind of stuck in my head. Like, they're like, oh, you don't have this. I don't like this. But I like your chains. And, like, out of all things, like, my chain, interesting. Like, that's that. Like, it's a chain. You know what I mean? Anyone could wear a chain. She did say I was handsome, though. But I think what Sky was telling me is if they kind of reversed the way that they showed love or showed a compliment, like, for example, this girl that's talking right now, she said that I had beautiful skin. As soon as I walked up to her, she's like, hey, beautiful skin. Wow, okay, I'm already in a good mood. Okay, cool. And then now she gives me the, oh, I don't like your locks, I don't really care for them, blah, 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 whatever she said that was insulting. And yeah, so I think if they start with a compliment and then go to what they don't like, or quote unquote the insults, I think I think the comments would come for them less, instead of just jumping straight to the what I don't like about this guy and stuff like that. If that makes sense. I don't know. Let's keep going.
Of course, we all receive negative comments. I will say I've gone on a few times and people have actually noticed me. Oh, I really enjoyed, you know, your episode, your positive demeanor, blah, blah, blah. And that was really encouraging to me.
Positive demeanor is
one thing
exactly
about me, as you can see on the episode, I try to exude positivity and encouragement for other people, whether or not I know you or not. And so it was really a blessing to me to receive that back in return.
So she exuded her positive energy, her positive vibes on the show. But it seems like none of the other girls did. That's interesting to me.
Now, for the negative comments, one thing that was really eye-opening for me was that people seem to know me better than I know myself. People seem to know my intentions better than I do, and better than even God knows me. So I'm so glad that you all are so much more intelligent. And I'll also say that this episode really highlighted to me how big mental illness is and how vastly undiagnosed it is.
Yo, that's crazy. Okay. All right. So now she's going a little bit downhill for me because all the negative comments that came towards you was someone that had mental illness and undiagnosed mental illness. Like, come on. Just take it. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't take the comments bad. Like, yeah, I dressed like I could have dressed a lot better. Like, there was holes in my jeans. I wore a t-shirt, like, I was too casual, just like a lot of the girls said on the panel. Okay, like, if there's an opportunity next time, I'm gonna come correct. Like, it's a learning experience. Just take it as a learning experience. You gotta be all salty about, oh, these people have mental illness, da-da-da-da-da. Like, relax. Just take it as criticism and keep it moving with your positive energy. If you're so positive, then why are you coming at people's necks like that? I don't know. Keep going.
Because for you, BM, I can't imagine you as the person you are today looking up on anyone's platform just to go on their page, type their name in, go on their page, go under their pictures, and express how much they genuinely have believed in their mind that they hate someone that they have never met. So
yeah, okay, I will agree with that. That is kind of some sucker shit. Like, if you don't like somebody, just keep it moving. But again, on the contrary, like, listen to the comments. I was getting cooked as well. Bro, what are you wearing? Bro, Busta Rhymes cut his locks. Maybe you should too. Like, I got some heat too, but I'm going to take it and I'm going to eat it. And it seems like you can't take it and you can't eat it. Like, I don't know.
So it was also interesting. There was actually one comment in particular that I came across. A guy who's been talking to himself in my DMs since 2021.
That's crazy.
Decided to go under all of the positive comments and basically say that he knows me. And then I've gone on basically a tour of all of these dating shows.
Weirdo simps out there. Those are the weirdo simps out there. You can't generalize those weirdo simps. Like, there's not a lot of men are doing that. There is a lot, don't get me wrong, but like, I'm not a part of that movement. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not about to be grouped in to this situation here. Like, you can't generalize this shit. Like, whatever.
Shows. And, it is widely known that I hate black men, and I go on all of these dating shows just to have a viral moment to be disrespectful. We've never met a day in my life. I did submit my DNA to Ancestry, so maybe, I'm cloned somewhere. But it's interesting that people can make these connotations about you, create this image of you just to demean you. And all I can say is, I'll pray for you guys. It's unfortunate. You, BM, are always thinking about the next big move, your next project, how to make money, how to better yourself and your family. And that's the wavelength that I am on as well. So it's difficult for me to understand the thought process of someone who thinks any differently and actually has the time to go on someone else's platform to belittle them. So that's unfortunate, and you're in my prayers.
So I actually do want to add to that as well. So we are actually normal people. Me, I never ever think that I am this big person better than people. No, I am the same as everybody. Once we leave this earth, we're all gonna be the same.
That's some real shit, BM. That is real shit. Like, it don't matter the level of fame, and this is something I told myself. Like, if I ever end up making millions and millions and billions of dollars, like, because I obviously want to achieve that, I don't think I'll ever switch up. I think money enhances who you truly are at the core. And if you're a good person with money, you're going to be a good person with money. Like, you're going to be amazing. You know what I mean? But if you're a piece of shit person with money, then you're going to be more of a piece of shit. So shout out to BM for saying that. That's real shit.
Agreed.
You understand? So one thing that I always have to let people know that I'm a musician. I've had all of this that what everyone's getting. You understand? So I've been through it all. The internet, the trolls, the hate. And you know what I say to haters? I don't watch you. So why do you watch me?
Right. That's my point, essentially.
Right. Don't watch me. So if you put too much energy into people that are negative,
it's gonna drain you.
You're gonna get drained,
and I think that's what she just did. She just highlighted all the this guy that's in my DMs unanswered since 2021. You're putting energy into that. I'm starting to look at you a little bit differently now because you came off as this positive person, and I felt that aura. I swear to God, I did. It was amazing. It was beautiful to hear you speak. But then now you're talking about all this. Oh, this guy, mental illness. All these people have mental illness. I'll pray for you. There's a weird undertone behind what you're saying, and it's throwing me off, and I'm sure it's throwing a whole bunch of other people off as well.
And you're just going to be stuck on their level. They want you to be on that level. But if you don't watch them and you keep going, if I was to follow haters, I would have failed.
Exactly.
So, yeah. Let's move on to Christina.
Okay, so I really loved my experience. I didn't feel like
I didn't even know. I know who this is. Okay.
I was disrespectful to anyone. I really didn't read the comments because I'm the type of person who doesn't care. But I definitely had people come under my post and comment their opinion. I was just like, okay. I really didn't care, but most of all, it was a positive experience for me. It was something I did for the first time, and I enjoyed everyone. And yeah, it was great. Thank you for having me.
She kept it short and sweet and to the point. I feel like everyone else just had to elaborate. Shout out to her for keeping it short and sweet, and she had a great time. Because this literally what she said is how I felt about my experience. I got on there. This is something that I tried for the first time. This is me trying something new for the first time. And I enjoyed the experience. I learned from it. And I'm going to keep it moving. And that's exactly what she's saying right now. So shout out to her. Short and sweet to the point. I love it.
Good. So what would you guys say, what do you think it was that caused people to be so negatively impacted by your episode?
Ooh wee! Okay, so this is where they're gonna have a chance to hold themselves accountable or not. Let's see what they do.
Me personally, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go ahead?
Go ahead, Carrington.
Okay. Me personally, I feel like it's because they don't realize that this is a production at the end of the day. Even though it's all authentic and everything that is said is being said, there is a purpose of this show. You want to hear why. You want to hear that initial thought. You want to hear exact things. At first we were being extremely what you would be in the real world. You're at a bar, a guy approaches you. You don't say, "Oh no, I don't. You're ugly. You're ugly." You don't say that. You just be like, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm not interested. But on a platform like this, when we're expected to, why aren't you attracted to them? Why was it the initial attraction? What did you see? What about his shoes? You have to be specific, and there are only so many ways you could deliver that. If I said I wasn't attracted to you, clearly I'm just not attracted to you. That doesn't mean that you're not handsome, and we got a lot of comments about that as well. People are like, how is every man handsome after you done turned him down?
And that's what I just said. Is you're picking apart these dudes left and right. Insult. Not so much insult, but critique. But you're handsome though. Critique. But I like your chain. Critique. Let's keep it going.
Handsome men every day of my life. I've worked with handsome men all day long. That does not mean I'm attracted to any of them. You can be attractive, but not be attracted. And I think there was a really weird turn, and everybody forgot, this is a dating show, guys. This is you're not my person. So everybody was just super upset about the fact that this is not you. You might give every man in your DMs a chance. You might hear every man that approaches you out. maybe. But the women lineup that was up there, they're all extremely beautiful women. I promise you that they get attention every day. Every day. At least, I can't speak for them, but I've seen them in person. I see myself every day. Just because you seem sweet doesn't mean that I have to entertain that. Making yourself less available in certain ways does higher your value. Having standards does higher your value as a woman, in my opinion. So if I see this man come out and I'm not attracted to him, you guys are like, hear him out. Hear him out. Why? Why?
Because, like, you never know what kind of person. Again, she's saying that it's a dating show. It's a dating show. Like, yes, it's very superficial. It's very much so like the human version of Tinder, the in-person form of Tinder. But with that being said, you have the opportunity to really get to know somebody. But you're eliminating them because I don't care for the hair. This is one of the Carrington's her name. She said that she's a loctician. She doesn't really care for my hair. And the way that I dressed is something that she said the way that you dressed, you didn't fit the occasion, and we wouldn't match on a date off of one outfit. This is why people are saying hear him out. Like, you're barely scratching the surface. It's very superficial for y'all. Like, and I feel like that's how most of the women that come on this show in general are. Like, it's just, you immediately judge by looks, and if something's off, the tiniest thing is off, pop the balloon, boom. But you never even know, like, the looks may not blow you away, but the personality might, and you're missing out on that big time.
I'm not attracted. I'm gonna hear you out because somebody else might want to hear you out, but I'm not into you. I have to wake up to you every day. If we match, and it goes farther, I have to wake up to you.
Agreed. I agree with that. Like, if I'm spending the rest of my life with you and you're not up to par, fair. But again, like, physical attraction is important, but personality might blow you the fuck away and make you fall in love with this person. But you're pushing that to the side, and you're already excluding this person just because you don't care for his hair, or you don't care, like, the way he dressed. He didn't fit the occasion. It's very superficial, and I think it's stupid.
I have to be proud that you're my man. I have to be able to say, yeah, I chose that, and not have any sex. I went on there really to date, as well as most of these women, in my opinion. Why now on this platform am I supposed to give somebody a chance who I'm not attracted to? And I done flew across the country not to settle. I didn't do that. And they are handsome men. Somebody is going to really want to be with that man and drool over him, and their body's going to get tingly. That wasn't the case for majority of us women, and that's not fair for you all or for them to expect us to hear him out. He's a nice guy. Hear him out. He's got money. Hear him out. He's tall. That's fine.
No, it's not about tall or money. It's about personality. That's why people are saying hear him out, because, again, you're exclude. There's a reason why people are saying hear him out. There's a reason why. But I think she's ignoring that reason. It's like, again, superficial shit. I just think it's very superficial.
That is fine, but I'm not attracted. And a lot of those comments were telling us that we were just young-minded and we just, our priorities are messed up. And I have to disagree. I have to disagree with a lot of that.
So I have to say as well that people think that, when we're getting this type of traction, we're here, like, we're getting traction. No, we want people to actually match. I want people to actually find their love.
They're on some Kevin Samuel shit, like putting a whole bunch of people in a group and hoping for the best in terms of finding black love. And shout out to them for trying to do that, because black love is dope, but the dating pool is a little so. But yeah, shout out to them for trying to do that.
You know, that's the
we
main
actually
thing.
get like frustrated when there are matches, because we're like, dang, we picked these people,
and y'all were
not.
Right, and this is something BM told me behind the scenes. Like, he was like, "Yo, I'm surprised you didn't get matched." I said, I don't even know, bro. Like, I thought I came in fly, but again, like, I listened to the comments. I listened to what people said. Even like my close friends and people that know me, they were on some like, yeah, you definitely could have dressed better, but you carried yourself, da 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 da. So I paid attention to dressing better. Like, now I'm like, okay, this is something I have to work on for sure. So
this is the thing, right? This is because I think I even called issue as well. Because when I saw her stuff going around, and you know, I had said, look, I know there's a difference with being rude and being honest, right? I know a lot of you was just being honest, right? I even warned you girls on the show. Remember, I stopped recording and I said to you girls, you're all saying the same things.
And this is something I pointed out in my reaction video too. Ishii right here, the not the one all the way on the left, but the second one to the left. She started with, during my segment, she said that she didn't like the hair, and literally everyone else, every single other girl said something about my hair. So again, I think it's just like, and I'm not trying to come off as disrespectful, this is just an observation, but I think women have a tendency to think based off of what another woman says, and they're like, oh yeah, it seems to be true. Someone told me that, like, the best looking girl, if so let's say Ishii rejected me, right? She popped her balloon on me. See, you know, all the other girls seeing that she rejected me, all the other girls are gonna pop the balloon because of the best looking girl. I think she's the best looking girl, in my opinion. I think she was the best looking girl. And because she popped on me, all the other girls are gonna pop on me because they think that the best looking girl isn't attracted to me, and so therefore I'm not attractive to anyone else. And this is just my thought. I could be wrong. I could be fucking crazy. Could be a crazy take or whatever. But that's just how I feel. That's how I think. That's how I think about how they thought based off of what Ishii said. So let's keep going.
And that's what I think the main thing is, that people just kept hearing the same thing, and it's kind of like, you know, are they all just copy and paste? Like, are they just copying each other? So do you think that maybe that's what people
that could have been something?
I think that was still a hang up, because when we were saying, oh, initial attraction, which is very much the truth, you know, production, you know, behind the scenes, it's like, hey guys, like, you all are saying initial attraction, be specific. And then that's when the girls started to be more specific. They realized, like, maybe we are being a little cushiony, maybe we are being a little nice, and then it got turned into
hate.
So when we actually said to you, I said to you ladies, you say the same thing. I said the same exact answers is what, when the internet see this, they're gonna have something to say.
Mm-hmm.
I said, when the internet see you keep saying the same answers, they're gonna have something to say. And some of you girls as well, when I said that, you didn't believe it, you know.
And
I was like, ladies, I want you guys to do well. I want you to do well. But so we didn't say for you to, you know, go super dive deep and stuff. We were saying basically just, you know, if you're saying the same thing, it's
change it up
like
a
copy
bit.
And paste.
Yeah.
Ish wanted to speak.
I do. I want to kind of piggyback off of Carrington. I think it sounded like we were saying the same things essentially because we were feeling the same things about these men. Just like Carrington said, you can be nice, you can have a good career, which is funny because a lot of people call us gold diggers, and all of those men have very good careers, money. It was never about that. I think we're all women that are successful in our own ways. So people hate to see it, but we have options. So those types of things just right off bat doesn't necessarily make us drool and want to pick these guys because they have a good career or they come off nice because, you know, if you're a religious person or you believe in a higher power, like, you know how to, you know, trust in yourself, trust in who you believe in, and that allows you some level of discernment. So every person that you encounter, just because they're nice, you can be a nice guy, but you don't have to necessarily be a good guy for me. If I, you know, talk to every nice guy, then I would be looked at and shamed as a you know what in the streets. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're all just women and we're successful in a way to where we don't necessarily have to, you know, give attention to all those things that everybody's, you know, trying to sell on the internet. And then the thing is too, yes, it's a dating show, but let's be honest and not act like people don't show you representation of themselves when they show up to you for the first time. Shoot, for the first couple months, like they're giving like the best version of themselves because they're in front of you and they're in front of the production team. They're in front of all these women and they know they're going to be in front of millions of eyes. So let's be clear about that.
That's fair. But again, I'll speak for myself on this. Like, how I dressed is how I dress. Like, that's how I dress. And I know I have to make improvements on how I dress, for sure. But again, I literally tried to be my most authentic self. You saw me, I was like laughing and, you know, I tried to be as goofy as I normally am as possible. I didn't want the cameras to change who I was, and I didn't want to look cool on it. Like, I wanted to be myself. And I don't know where I was going with that. Let's keep going.
And then just like Carrington said, I did not fly across the country to settle. I'm trying to be married. I'm trying to date my husband. I'm not trying to date casually and have fun and kiki and talk with somebody. I want children. Like, you know, I want my life to go in a certain direction. And I simply did not see any of those men being the father of my children. And I don't feel bad about that. And then I think the reason why the women on the show episode got so much scrutiny is because a lot of those men, again, they didn't argue back or they didn't fight back or they didn't, you know, snap back like men.
We let the comments do that for sure. We let the comments do that.
Men on previous episodes did. And I think the internet has a tendency to try to take up for people that they think need taken up for. And in all reality, I'll just say it right now, none of those men needed any taken up for. They are very capable of taking up for themselves. Very capable of taking up for themselves, and they didn't necessarily need that. They went on the show, you know, they had what they wanted to do on their mind, and in my opinion, they did exactly what they needed to do because the internet loved them, right? But as far as the negative scrutiny we received, I feel like we received so much of it because there was no viral moment where the guy was snapping back and saying his piece to simple honesty from the women's part. And I understand you say that we needed to be specific, but we didn't necessarily have to be mean. I still personally don't think that I was mean. I never called anyone ugly. I know a lot of comments said that I was a height shamer and how is 6 feet not tall enough. It was never that with me. Like my first boyfriend that I was with for like the longest, he was 5'7". I'm 5'6.5". I've never had an issue with height. My issue is that, just like a lot of the women agreed, some of those men were being deceitful about what height they were, and that's just what it was. Like,
no. I have to disagree with that. Definitely not. I'm 5'11" and 3/4. There's a little measuring ruler thing at my job, and I measure myself all the time. I'm like 5'11", right under 6 foot. All those dudes, I think the exception of one, Jason might have been shorter than me, but everyone else was taller than me. So the only person that you could come for in terms of height was probably Jason. And I don't even think y'all critiqued him on his height or anything like that. I think he's shorter than me. I think. but not by a lot. All those dudes were tall as shit. Like, and I'm like maybe the second shortest out of all of them. They were all tall as hell, so I don't think they were being deceitful at all. I don't even know where that thought is coming from. I have no idea. They were all taller.
So can I actually just jump in there? All right.
Yep. Go ahead.
So this is for all the ladies. What is it about height?
It's a great question.
What is it about height that is so important, especially when you're way shorter? And this week, where's Haitian though?
Right there, Camila.
Right there, yeah, Camila and Renee. And Renee. Let's ask both of them because you both had, issues with height. What is it that gets you so, like you don't want to pick a guy because of their height? When like you were, Camila was 5. She's 5'1".
5'1", right? I think. That's
5'1", yeah. And that guy was.
Camina's a shorty.
6 feet.
So for one, he didn't really seem 6 feet, but
he wasn't.
Kind of like what we're saying. We're on a show. There's production. 8 women with balloons. Me personally, I dated somebody, 5'6", 5'10". But if I'm going to be in front of the camera and like, I don't even know the name, the age, what you do for work, what you like, what you don't like. That's very small information. So I'm going to go what I prefer. It's not mandatory. Like in my real life, I don't use that mindset, but
it's not mandatory, but that's something that you pop the balloon on him for. If it's not mandatory, then you could keep that balloon unpopped. So what are you talking about?
On a show like that, yeah.
It's so like, how tall does your man need to be for you to accept him?
Good question.
I mean, he could be around like, I'll say 5'6" and up. I don't mind that.
Stop the cap! Stop the cap!
You just also have to be attracted to them as well.
Exactly.
You're not going to settle for height and attraction.
Exactly.
But she didn't say the attraction on the show. She said the height.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, but
but you're handsome though. That like this is something that all of y'all was saying. Like, oh, but he's handsome. Like, what are we talking about?
If I'm on a show and I just get to know very small information about you, in my real world, it's not mandatory. But if I'm going on Pop the Balloon, it is. I'm sorry. So on the show, it's mandatory, but in my real life, it's just a preferred thing. So like, I don't really know much about the guy. So I would prefer him to be, tall. I mean, like I said, he didn't look 6 feet. He looked a bit shorter than that. But then again,
I think she had heels on too. So that could be deceiving as well. But still, like, again, all of those dudes in there were like 6 foot and above, except for maybe Jason. Everyone else was taller than me, and I'm like 5'11" and 3/4. I'm right under 6 foot, and they were all taller than me. Interesting.
That's just how I felt at the moment.
Okay.
So that's just what that is.
So what would you say is the difference from the show from your real life? Because it's still real life.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel like my real life.
Because she said it's mandatory on the show, but it's a preference in real life. Why? Like, that just doesn't make any sense to me. Why would you try and separate the two when you could just get on the show and be yourself? Now you're putting up a facade. Like, again, this goes back to like you're disguising yourself, like you're disguising your preferences too. That's weird.
Let's say, example, a guy comes up to me, we're chatting it up. There's not cameras. There's not, 8 women are getting a chance to know this guy, and here I am. Okay, it's not like, it's kind of like one-on-one, more private. So if the guy, let's say, was like 5'6", it's a different situation because I'm actually talking to him. It's private. We're actually getting to know each other. And if I go off of that, he's cool. But if it's somebody just coming out and my name is this, 27, I do this, it's more easier to just pop on height because I don't know much about you. It's not really that private. That's how I took it as. But yes, I do, since everybody wants to know or saying I do date people definitely under 6 foot. And I've dated somebody that was like 5'6" before. So yeah.
And I want to just chime in. I think there's such a big difference with the split-second decision that we have to make on Pop the Balloon. Like, it's not a realistic setting. We're asked to make these decisions like almost in 30 seconds or less. When,
no,
like,
you're not. No, you're not, because you can literally hold the balloon for the whole segment. You can literally hold the balloon for the whole segment, and the whole segment be like a good, if it goes all the way, it'd be like a good 10, 15 minutes. It's not a split decision. Like, again, this is why people are saying, hear them out, hear them out. You're quick to pop the balloons. Like, you don't have to pop immediately when they walk out. But that's what a lot of y'all did. Like, what are we talking about here? It ain't no pressure to pop immediately. What are you talking about?
To say you're in a real setting talking to someone, you know, one-on-one, actually getting to know them. And 9 times out of 10, if you're in a setting like that, you're only talking to that person because you're attracted to them, you know, in one way or another. So you allow them certain things and you give them chances, but like off of initial, like somebody just walking out. And then let's not act like there's not a mental thing to it, to where, like, say the first guy comes out, like, if that person is not what you're thinking about, that you want in your head, you're thinking, okay, I have this chance and this chance and this chance after that to see if maybe someone matches me better. Like that, I think that plays a role too.
Well, that kind of says a lot. You're exploring your options. And I think this is something that I don't even know, like, how they would be able to work on that in terms of, like, because this is something that, like, BM kind of told us, like, if you see somebody that you like, go after them immediately, because you never know about the next person, and the next person, they could not be your match. But exploring your options is going to lead you to having nothing at the end. And this is something that, like, you can translate into the real dating world, not just on this show. Like, if you keep, and this is something that I'm personally struggling with too, you keep exploring, and like, nah, this person's not it, this person's not it, nah, I don't like this person, I don't like that person, this person, da 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 da. You keep doing that, you're gonna end up with nobody. And because you're gonna be way too picky, and you're gonna think that, oh yeah, I can just keep looking. There's that one girl, I'm gonna keep looking, and it goes for the same for ladies too, especially like women in general have a lot more options than men do. And they're just going to keep exploring, especially with social media now. You can meet motherfuckers in Dubai and shit all over the world. So you got all these options on your cell phone and in person. And so you're going to keep exploring, trying to find that perfect dude. And then he might have a hole in his pants. And then you're like, oh, I'm going to go talk to the next dude in my DMs, because I don't like this guy. I don't like the way he talked. I didn't like the way he did. You know what I mean? Like, just I think having a lot of options, and this goes for men and women, it's a double-edged sword. I think it's cool to have all these options, but then again, if you're looking for your person, that one person, the one person you want to spend the rest of your life with, it's definitely detrimental for sure, because you're gonna be way too picky. And even if you do find that person, you're going to start, and this is just my opinion, you're going to start to try and pick apart different characteristic traits that you found from all these other people that you encountered, and compare it to this one person that you found and you want to spend the rest of your life with. So, interesting. Very, very interesting.
And I think Kamina's example, you know, BM, you mentioned, she mentioned height as opposed to physical attraction. I just reiterating the conversation we had earlier, we did pause and you did let us know, hey, you're repeating the same things. Even I went and started saying other things. So what Kamina is saying, instead of saying it's physical attraction, as you all instructed us to do, please give different answers.
Okay. And for me,
Renee, yeah, go ahead, Renee.
Yes, I am a tall woman. Y'all saw that on the show. And I feel like every guy that I've dealt with, I have no problem finding guys that's like 6'4", 6'5", like taller men, and that's just what I prefer because I like a guy with stature, a guy that holds himself to, like I like what I like, and no comment can make.
You can have somebody that's under 6'3", 6'4", who holds himself with stature. Like, I don't see what she was trying to say with that. But to her point, that's a fair claim. Like, she's tall, she wants someone taller, and that's fair. But how many dudes are there on this planet that are taller than 6'3", 6'4"? And you have to realize that these dudes that are really tall, a whole bunch of other chicks are going to want this tall dude because he is tall. So is like, there's so many options. There's a lot more options for taller dudes. And all I'm saying is that her options are slim because there's only so many people that are 6'4" and taller. Like, it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for her to find her match. I think she has to lower her standards a little bit. But I understand where she's coming from. I understand. She was very tall. She was pretty tall. But I think she has to lower her standards because there's only so many tall dudes to go around. You feel me? So, no shade to her. I'm not trying to be disrespectful or anything. But again, I think it's just going to be tough for her to find her match because there's only so many tall dudes to go around. There's like all the tall dudes are getting, the most attention. So that's all I have to say about that.
Comment can make me change how I feel about the show. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, the guys were handsome. They were nice, but I didn't want to just pick them because they were nice or handsome. I want them to be, like she said, my husband type of material. Like, I want to have kids. I'm dating to marry at this point. So I don't want to just settle for someone who I think is nice. I'm nice too. So, I don't know. I just want someone who fits me, my person, and I didn't find that, which is okay.
So for me, sorry, can I just, because Kia said something that I actually want to correct, right? Camila, when she said that height thing, was with the first guy that came out.
Facts.
I said to you girls too, you're saying the same thing after the third or fourth guy, right? So this is what I'm trying to say to people that come on the show. You have to be real within yourself and know that you can actually come on a platform on a show like this. Because it's a lot more than you just seeing on the screen thinking it's easy. I can just walk in and just do this and say that. So, when you're coming there, know that be prepared that you will get asked questions. My wife will ask you why you're popping, be specific and all that type of stuff. And also know how to present yourself. Know, if you want people to see you like this, make sure you present yourself the way that you want them to see you. So I think a lot of people are not really mentally prepared. They just come on the show thinking that it's going to be very easy. Right. So I want to ask you ladies, what have you learned by coming on the show?
Another chance for accountability. Here we go.
I personally learned, for one, the internet is a terrible place. We're going to go ahead. The internet is crazy.
That's debatable. Look at BM's face. That's debatable, bro. It's only a terrible place for people that... I'm not even going to say nothing. Go ahead.
That's for one. For two, I learned...
it's a terrible place for people that can't receive criticism and critiques, and it's a terrible place for people that they can't take insults. Like, they take insults too personally, I think. But I could understand that it weighs heavy on someone when the insults are constant and repetitive. But like, this is not me saying this because of y'all being on the show, but like, just don't do anything crazy on the internet and people won't have crazy reactions. Like, I try and spread positivity on the internet, and all I get is good feedback. Like, why? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. That's crazy.
That everybody has ulterior motives. Don't get me wrong, in my 26 years of life, I've met all walks of life, and I know that people aren't who they portray themselves as anyway. But, mentally going onto the show, I was thinking, oh, if I am taking it serious enough to fly across the country and put myself in a vulnerable place, because that's exactly what it is. I thought that the opposite side, the men and the women that are alongside me, were in that same mindset. And honestly, it just taught me to keep my guard up. Like, I don't regret not matching. I'm actually very thankful that God put me in a position to get out of that situation. Because
why'd you want to get out of it? It's interesting.
After the show, we definitely got really acquainted with everybody, majority of the men, majority of the women. And it showed me that, there's nothing different outside of your hometown. There's nothing different outside of your city. These men are the same.
Whoa, crazy take. Yes, okay, this is the girl that gave me some shit in the audience with just a mean look. Like, she was mad. She was salty about some shit. Like, I don't know if y'all saw my reaction video, but like, I paused it right at the moment where like I left the show. I walked off the set, and the cameraman is looking at all the girls. They're slowly looking at all the girls, and she had her eyes rolled, and she was just not having it. All because I said that I said makeup and lashes, and she thought that I was just saying like I didn't like the makeup that she had on her face, and she didn't have makeup on during that time. But I was saying makeup and lashes like I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of it. But as soon as I said the lashes, she's like, oh, okay. And then I think as soon as I said the lashes, she started like, she was out of it. She started rolling her eyes and all this shit. So that's that. I'm glad she said this because it's showing everything that I thought about her is starting to click and make sense. So
these women are, your person is going to meet you, and then you don't have to force it. And that's kind of what it was given. It was given like, oh, okay, I'm putting myself on the line to essentially force it. Like, hopefully I find this guy, this dream guy, all the way in Arizona. When it's like, no, you met those same men that you meet downtown. You met them same men that come and holler at you every day in that inbox. On the internet, of course, it was portrayed in a way, and I love that they got the positive light that they got, but I hate that it was at our expense.
It wasn't our fault, though. We didn't do it to you. We did not do this to you. I think y'all did this to yourselves. I came on the show. Towards the end, I was like, I'm not trying to be disrespectful to nobody. Like, I'm not trying to have a viral moment, none of that shit. But I think they did it to themselves. I think they did.
And I had to realize that we can't defend ourselves against everybody. It's not even worth it. There's not enough hours in the day to defend ourselves against everybody. But at the same time, I definitely learned that as a Black woman, which all of us are, Black women, that there's nobody here to defend us. Because even though we did befriend those men, and we got really acquainted and personal with those men, they came back on this platform and doubled down on that we weren't good women. They doubled down on those comments that were being said, even though in the message.
We agreed with the comments, but we didn't double down on y'all. Like, there was a bunch of comments that were like, okay, yeah, that's true. Yeah, she did say this. That's true. That's true. Now she's trying to make it seem like we hate Black women. Like, that's not cool. That's not cool. She's going on a tangent about this shit for nothing. Like, because it's not true.
The messages, it was completely different. In that group chat, it was completely different. In our personal messages, it was completely different. And I definitely learned to stop putting your heart on your sleeve. Stop, you can be a genuine person, but you can't look for that in everybody else. So it was definitely a learning experience with meeting new people. Because like I said before, I don't meet a lot of new people that I am pursuing in any type of friendship, relationship manner. And because I did, at this point, it just was like, that was a learning experience. Like, oh my gosh, you're a fool. That was ignorance right there.
Yeah. Let's hear from Christina.
So I learned.
She didn't say anything the whole show. She was just listening. I like her. I like her. She was just listening, and she kept her answers short and sweet, and love it. I love it.
That I should probably be more prepared.
But I think this is a girl that I said that just based off of not going to the gym, I wouldn't approach or whatever. Which is valid, but I do like her because she was in the cut, and I'm a in the cut kind of person, and so she was just like very, very in the cut about everything. I love it.
Be more prepared for things like this. I just regret like not thinking about my answers before I came, and like not being as engaged because I was just trying to be like genuine, like 100% myself or whatever. But yeah, I definitely should have been more prepared, and I feel like once again,
well, you can't really prepare for questions, especially in her position. Like, you can't prepare for, because Arlette's gonna ask you, why'd you pop your balloon? But that's you being honest about why you're popping the balloon is you showing your genuine self. You know what I mean? Like that. Just be honest, and that'll count as you being yourself. But in terms of how you were in the power position with the balloon, I don't think there was ways you could have prepared, prepared for questions and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm saying I don't know a lot because I don't know. I'm just speaking my mind and just, you know what I mean? Whatever. Just keep going.
Once again, I was very respectful. I did learn that it's not about what you say, it's about how you say it. So, yeah, that's really it.
Okay.
Short and sweet. Look at that smile. Shout out Christina. Short and sweet. Smiled on the camera and kept it moving. Everyone else had to go on a tangent about this and that and that. I love the short and sweet. I love it.
Okay. And then Kia?
Yeah, I'll say that I truly do believe that I was prepared for an experience like this. God really has everything aligned for your best interest. And I'll say that, there's always a blessing at the end of the road. So I am proud of going on the platform and being the genuine.
God will also put a good man in front of you, but you'll pop because his hair is too long. Interesting.
Person that I am. I am proud of how I represented myself.
And again, I'm not trying to come off as salty at all, but like, cause I just don't. Let me see how I could. It's not even about me in general, but it's just like the littlest things. You'll just pop on. Oh, his hair's too long. Oh, he's bald. Oh, he didn't dress the occasion. Oh, and again, I'm not trying to internalize this and make it all about me. I'm only saying it because I didn't watch the whole episode yet. I've been busy doing shit, whatever. But I'm saying because of me, because I only watched my segment and I reacted to my segment. I'm not really salty about it. I'm caught off guard that all of them said that my hair was the problem because I haven't had negative critiques about my hair so collectively ever. I've had my hair for 14 years. And everyone that I know and everyone that I meet says that they like my hair. So all that to say is going back to, Carrington and Kia said they mentioned God and this and God is aligning this and that. Again, God will put someone in front of you, and I think just because it's so superficial and so small, oh, he's bald, he's this, he's that, you're going to pop the balloon and you're blocking God's blessing that he's trying to put in front of you. So that's something that maybe you can learn from in my opinion.
Myself and how I respected everyone's son who came on the platform. I am proud of how I conducted myself thereafter. And
agreed. She was very respectful. I agree with her.
And so I'll say that God always has the final say and win at the end of the day. So overall, I'm blessed for the experience.
And then Ishi?
For me, I learned that one, the internet is a very unreal place. I feel for those celebrities and like different people that are on a way higher platform and at a way higher status than us, and the attention we receive, because they receive hate like a million times more than us. So I can only imagine how their mental health is. Hearing the things that people said about me, like absolute lies. Like,
yeah, some people be wilding in the comments. I'm not gonna lie, they be wilding.
Like saying that I had three kids and 3 baby daddies. I don't have any kids, by the way. I don't have any big...
Again, yeah, they just be wilding.
Where was that? That was on YouTube?
That was on Instagram. Like, people would tag me and stuff, and I got tagged in, like, literal videos that people made just of me and quote-unquote mean things I said to these guys, and they were making up all types of lies about me, that I had on a wig. Never wore a wig on the platform. My real hair has always been that. So I wanted to address that as well, because I did not have a wig on that platform. But I'm just going on to say that these people will make up things about you and literally like believe it in their own minds, and it's actually sick. So I'm praying for everybody that, you know, that wants to be an internet therapist with absolutely no experience and no degree. If y'all are that interested in doing that, by all means, go sign up for some classes, because y'all...
So everyone in the comments that had something to say holds no value. Like, everything that they said holds no value. And I think that's wild. That's a wild take. Yes, there's people that the people that say that you got 3 baby daddies, that's fucking crazy, for sure. And there's a lot of crazy people out there, but every single comment you didn't learn anything from, like, I don't know.
That's because y'all be good at it if you were actually right. But yeah, outside from that, just like Carrington said, you perceive people in a certain way, especially with how they present themselves on camera, and getting to know the guys behind the scene. You know, thought I built really good friendships with them, but, you know, seeing the podcast and how it played out, it was giving very much Black women aren't protected, and I didn't necessarily agree with that. I'm sure, you know, they lead overall good lives. I just didn't like the way that they, like Carrington said, doubled down on how we were, you know, these terrible Black women, and getting to know them and hearing the positive things that they were saying about us, and then to go out on the internet and completely flip the script. It was like absolutely mind-blowing. It was like blindly raging to see that they did us like that. Just learning to take things, you know, with a grain of salt. You think you know somebody, even though if you know you've known them for a short period of time, like they're only going to show a certain amount of themselves until, you know, for lack of better words, shit really hits the fan, and shit happened to hit the fan, and we were, you know, like I said, it wasn't a good experience for us. So just that, and maybe choosing different word choice when describing things, I would say that. But other than that, it was a positive experience, and I think that I presented myself in a good light. Everybody that knows me personally hit me up and said, like, you know, you presented yourself well, you presented Detroit well, we love you, we're proud of you, and all these other things. Like, it takes a really brave person to be able to do something like that, and you did it, and you looked good while doing it. So that made me feel good. The people that actually loved me and cared for me gave me positive feedback, and that's really all that matters at the end of the day.
Okay. And Camila?
What I like,
the people that love me gave me critiques. You know what I mean? Like, there's people that, one of my homies, shout out to T, she told me to go get therapy because she believed that the way that I carried myself, and she said that she had secondhand embarrassment for me, and she said that I exuded not a lot of confidence, and she was 100% correct. I wouldn't say 100%, maybe like 50%, maybe 50. But like, she had a valid point. Like, she saw that I didn't have a lot of confidence on the show, like the way that I dressed and the way I carried myself. And even Sky, that I just did an interview with, she said that I walked off the show with my head down, no confidence. You know what I mean? So all I have to say is that, like, the people that love you could be biased as well, because they love you and they probably seen the comments and seen that you were getting cooked left and right, and they didn't want to say anything to add fuel to that fire. You feel me? So all I'm saying is, like, just take everything that the comments said, that your loved one said, take it into consideration. I'm not saying you have to believe all the negative comments and all the positive comments. Like, take a comment like, maybe I was this, and that. Or you could just say, absolutely not. This motherfucker's bugging. So that's all I'm saying. Is just take it into consideration. Like, let's keep going.
What I learned is you could go out and be yourself, as respectful as you want to be. People are always going to find something to say. And, it's okay. Also, as well, too, I learned you can't trust everybody. I mean, I always thought that. And I'm very closed off of making friends and all that. So even just, bringing these girls as friends and the guys on the shots.
It's interesting. 100,000 followers, and she has that perspective. It's interesting.
Shots friends is a big thing for me, because I'm a very private person when it comes to just like having people involved in my personal life other than social media. I learned that you can't trust people smile in your face, and
real life and Instagram is separate for sure, but it's still interesting
to act like they're cool with you. And so going to the podcast you guys did with the boys, I was pretty shocked, because we've been in this group chat, I believe, for 2 weeks, maybe, I don't know, and we were thinking everything's cool, everything's okay. And to just see the stuff they said about us that they knew completely was not true about us. They know us from a different level of just the show that we filmed. So, I learned, I'm going to just keeping how it was. Don't be letting people in my circle like that, besides the ladies that I did become friends with, because they haven't shown me signs that they switched up on me. And then bringing back the PTSD haircut part, honestly, seeing everybody laugh about that on that podcast really did hurt me in a way, because I'm a woman, and if I'm saying a man, his hair, because if you guys know PTSD is, you can get it from a taste, a color, environment. Doesn't matter what it is. PTSD comes from anything, and it's not anybody's place to know what happened. Just know that haircut did resemble a man that I dealt with, and that's just what it was. So the fact that people took that and was laughing and joking, I'm going to go to the barber and get the PTSD haircut. First of all, I don't even know what this man did to me. And the fact that it was becoming a laughing stock did really make me feel some type of way. And I also want to tell other women too, don't ever be ashamed what your PTSD makes you feel. It could be, I don't know, color. Don't be scared, I'm going to look stupid or people are going to laugh at me. If that's what your trauma is, that's what your trauma is going to be.
You can also heal from that trauma too. You can definitely heal from that. So that way, someone that looks like the person that did you dirty in the past isn't perceived negatively by you. And again, this like, people will always say like, don't bring your negative, not negative, but don't bring your traumas to your present. Like, you have to deal with your traumas that happened in the past, so that way you can move forward in the future positively. And I think she's dodging that. Again, it's hard. I'm not saying it's easy to just, accept whatever that might be triggering you. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, like, you could definitely heal from it. And I don't think she did. So let's keep going.
And you know what it is? And I was more, I healed from that moment in my life, and I was brave enough to go on the show and say, hey, because I could have just made up anything.
But she still popped. So apparently she didn't heal. I don't know.
he's short, or oh, he's too buff or whatever. But I healed from that moment. I'm able to say right then and there, this is what gives me trauma, and I do not want to wake up to a man every day to see that haircut, and it's just going to bring back memories of what happened to me. So that's where
she literally just said that she didn't heal from it. That's literally everything that she just said tells me that she didn't heal from it.
As well, I learned you can't really be too open sometimes, and things could be taken as a joke. And it's funny too, because when I did speak to Kendall, I did tell Kendall, like, yeah, that was a joke. That was trauma. So to see him go on that podcast and laugh and joke, like, it's just, I don't know. I just learned so much. You can't trust. You can't open up too much. You can't people take things and throw it around. So I just learned sometimes I just got to keep my mouth shut about certain touchy things, and I can't just go and open up, I guess.
I'm sorry you had that.
Yeah.
But shout out to her. Shout out to Kamina, because she actually reached out to me and apologized for the way that she acted towards me on the show. So I appreciate the apology 100%. 100%.
And to touch on that, Kamina, we didn't know the severity of that whole situation, because I think even when you said on the show, you kind of smiled a little bit. So I think that's what
coping mechanism, most likely.
Caused everyone to laugh at that.
This is what I was talking about. How you act on the show is how people are going to take it. Like when you said that, I think it seemed like you said it like in a jokey way, but obviously it was serious, right? Yeah. I feel like so when you spoke. When you spoke to Kendall by himself, you let him know that it was a serious thing. But everyone else that saw her on the show, they didn't know that.
I have a thing too. When something's hard for me to talk about, I either laugh a lot or
coping
I smile.
Mechanism.
There's certain ways where I hide, but
coping mechanism, so I'll give her that.
I can't explain it. Like, I'm just kind of like that. If I'm nervous, I'll start laughing a lot too on the show. I'm just a natural laughing person, but as well on the show, I was a little bit nervous. I was more giggly than usual, but it's just stuff like that, but like I said, I was, able to speak about it, and I know millions of people are going to see it. And it's just kind of like, I smile. Not that it was a joke, but it's just a thing that I do if like things, are comfortable to talk about a little bit. But
that's why it's so hard as well. When you come on the show, because the people that are watching, they don't know this.
They don't know you.
They're just knowing this right now as you're saying this. That's why I wanted all of you guys to come and speak to explain yourselves as well. Because now when they're watching, they might have a different perception of how you acted. So one thing as well that I do want to kind of end off on is that it takes a lot for people to come on the show.
1,000 fucking %. This is a fucking nerve-wracking experience. And this is something that all the fellas mentioned. I think it was Anthony that said it, that like we all got on the show and we all had balls to get on the show. Like, we're here, we made it, and we're gonna do this, and no one's gonna back out of it. And that's literally what we did. So kudos to everybody, ladies and fellas, for coming on the show, because it's scary. It's fucking scary to be the limelight, you know what I mean? Like, to be on camera in front of millions of people. That shit's not easy. It's not easy. On top of that, you're being critiqued on who you are as a person, or your perception, other people's perception of you on live TV. It's not easy. So again, kudos to everybody. This shit was not easy.
People that watch it,
and we fucking did it.
Which is at home, they're watching on YouTube. But for you, so all of you ladies coming on the show is a big thing, and I thank you lot for being you, and staying strong, because most people can't do this. I want to ask you ladies, would you ever do this again?
No, the guys weren't serious enough, so no, I wouldn't.
Debatable.
Anyone else could go next.
I'm not gonna say it's debatable for the guys, but it goes both ways too. Like, I don't think y'all were serious enough either. Like, It is what it is. It goes both ways.
So next.
I would do it again. I'll just come more prepared. That's all.
Shout out to her.
Okay.
I wouldn't do it again because goes back to people show you what they want you to see, but behind closed doors, it could be a whole different person. So I wouldn't.
I feel the same way. I feel like the experience was fun, and I was expecting to find a match, and I didn't. So no, I probably wouldn't do it again. But it was still.
Again, I think her standards are too high. There's only so many 6'4" dudes out there that you're looking for. Again, I think she needs to lower her standards, her height preference, I should say. Lower your height preferences, and then maybe you'll find a match easier. But I think going 6'4" and over is going to be a lot tougher.
But it was still a great experience for me, and I'm grateful that y'all brought me on.
Knowing what I know now, probably wouldn't do it. Just based off of how everything unfolded here in our case, internet and on the personal level with the young men that we were, on the show with, I wouldn't do it again.
I'll currently say I'm unsure. I will say that I would much rather not have to and meet my person. I am just ready to cook my man a Sunday football dinner, and make sure that his beard is nice and oiled. So, yeah. I'm just ready for my man. I don't care about all this other stuff.
Right, and that's the spirit. Ladies, I really hope you all find love one day. I really do hope you all find your person. Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Bye,
Bye,
y'all.
All right. Thank you ever for tuning in, and we'll catch you all next time.
All right. Well, that was an interesting take. I think overall they let the comments on YouTube. I think they took it really, really personal, and it's hard not to. I'll be a little bit unbiased here. I think it's hard not to when it's all negative coming towards you. So I think that's why most of them are like, yeah, I probably wouldn't come back on the show. I wouldn't come back on the show. But I also think that I don't think that they learned anything either. Like, they didn't critique themselves. They didn't see why the comments were so harsh towards them. And that's all I have to say about that, honestly. Would I go back on the show? Absolutely. This show is a big confidence booster for me because I'm doing something that is scary, and knowing that I can do something that's scary is a superpower. And again, like, after the show, DMs were swarming, and I'm not saying this to be cocky or anything, but like, it helps me put myself out there in the dating pool a little bit more, because I'm stuck in Flagstaff, Arizona. There's not much up here, so it helps me get out of Flagstaff a little bit virtually. So, but yeah, it is what it is. The ladies said what they said, and it is what it is. So, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe for your boy, do all the stuffs that help support the channel grow, and I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you for watching. It's your boy Agnell, encouraging you to try something new. I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.